one we got right here today just might be one of the better values this holiday season, and I'll tell you more about it right now. The Jaecoo J7 SHS. It evokes a sense of luxury, but at the same time, utility. And definitely one thing that you're looking for, especially in an SUV. Again, with these box proportions, it looks like an SUV that you have in your head. Now, one thing that I do like right here is this huge grille right here with these vertical chrome slats in the middle. Now, usually I don't like how chrome looks on a vehicle, but somehow it works on the Jaecoo J7. You got LED fog lamps as well. You also have this front camera that works with a 360-degree camera system. That's right, this car has a 360-degree camera system that helps you out, especially with parking. And you've got the pad right here for the advanced driver assist systems. For the amount of money that you're going to pay for this, and more on that later on, definitely shows a lot of features. You got your flush door handles. It's got 175 millimeters of ground clearance, which doesn't seem like a lot, but actually it's a lot more than you need, especially in flood-ridden cities. But what this enables you is get in and out of the car easily without any stress. You've got this huge light bar running across the rear end, pretty much the middle of the rear hatch right here, but it does have an interesting design pattern to it. Again, you've got these checkered looking design lights here on the side, again mimicking the front end's DRLs, as well as the decals right there on the side, giving it a little bit more interesting look, especially with this thing right here, because everyone can put a light bar in the back, but not everyone can design it the way this is. So they put a little bit more thought, and it's cased and in-house in this pretty nice looking smoked glass in the back with the Jaecoo badging, of course. You also have a rear fog lamp, which is nice and interesting, and a diffuser look at the bottom. You don't see any visible exhaust ports here underneath, because it's not primarily a gasoline engine. It's primarily runs on electric power. The engine that you've got underneath, although turbocharged, primarily its use is to just charge the battery and move forward. One thing that I would have against this though is the font. It looks pretty futuristic, sure, but I would have loved if they gave it a more simpler design to match the entire vehicle's aesthetic. And one of my favorite features are these reflector panels on each side of the rear. Kind of looks like jet boosters in my opinion. I always love it when car companies go a little bit more extra with their design. Speaking of extra, you've got a power tailgate. As you can see, I step right in here, you got a huge buy-in box right there, my bags, this tent right here, because you can definitely use this to transport your vehicles. Now, this is the main reason why SUVs and crossovers are taking control of the market these days, and why some car companies are just, not making sedans or hatchbacks anymore, because a lot of people would prefer to get an SUV for the space, for the size, and of course the cargo capacity. And if you need even more space, you can go ahead and fold those rear seats down. You fold in a 60-40 split configuration and fold fairly flat, so you can fit in your boogie boards, your your ironing boards, or whatever you put in there that has a longer dimension. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't have any spare tires right here, but you do get a nice repair kit, as well as the charger that you'll get free whenever you buy a Jaecoo J7. And one more thing before I close it down though, one thing that you would notice there is that when you're parking at night, especially when you got a hatchback like this, you won't be able to see the interior because you get a small dinky little light either on each side of the vehicle. But here, you got a huge bright LED light shining right here, shining all of your stuff on the inside, making visibility a lot easier. So overall, the design of the Jaecoo J7 is certainly a little bit more extra, and I think that's the theme that we had right here. For the price that you're paying for this, it certainly doesn't shortchange you. I mean, everyone's on a budget, everyone wants to get the most out of their vehicle, but the design on the outside, those wheels, the creases, the overall shape of this, it feels like you're paying so much less for a lot more. But let's take a look at the inside and see what other toys and features it has for your money. All right, so we're inside the Jaecoo J7, and right away, one of the impressions that I'm getting out of the interior right here is that you can actually achieve a sense of simplicity and minimalist values without compromising functionality and ergonomics, because despite the fact that you've got this minimal look right here on the cockpit, you still have some buttons right here and everything seems to be within reach. But I'll be talking about that as we move along the car. First and foremost, you've got this nice leather wrap steering wheel. It's got a D shape to it. It's pretty chunky and sizable, which makes it easier to steer your ship, or should I say to steer your Jaecoo J7. The steering is light, but I'll talk about the steering feel later on as we drive. But it is adjustable for both reach and rake with this manual lever right here. We're entering a time where a lot of these cars are starting to have the automatic, or should I say electronic adjuster for the steering wheel, but there's still something so satisfying about doing it in a very analog and manual manner, such as that one. So achieving your optimum driving position is easy because of the adjustable power seats right here. Go up and down, forward and back. You can lean forward and back as well. And it's also got lumbar support. Now, every time you adjust your seating right here without your without your seat belt here, it knows that that is your exit position, so that you can easily get in and out. So you're gonna save that position right there. And then as soon as you put in your seat belt and hit the brake pedal, it's going to adjust itself like so. There we go. And adjusted the seats, not the steering wheel though, because it's not electronically adjustable, but the seats are, so it knows what your particular driving position would be whenever you get in or out. It has that as a memory function, but doesn't have memory function seats. It's got driver 1, driver 2, driver 3 and all that. It doesn't have that, but at least it does have that feature for the one driver. Now, one thing that would jump right at you though is this huge 14.8 touchscreen infotainment system with both wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. It blasts tunes through 8 speakers from Sony, Sony branded speakers, and they sound absolutely great. Now the screen has a nice touch sensitivity to it, as well as good refresh rate, so it actually feels like you're controlling a tablet. One thing about the screen though is that it actually implements a sort of Apple iOS-like functionality to it. So if you swipe down from the top end, it gives you the notification center. I don't know how the car is going to notify you, but if you swipe down from the right end right here on the other side, it gives you all of your controls. So your power off button is on the screen, central locking, electronic parking brake, automatic brake hold, it's all there. But one thing about this though is that at least it's easy to reach, easy to read with this huge icons right here, and even has a screen cleaning mode. So if you hit on screen cleaning mode, it's going to turn itself off and you can finally wipe it down without having to worry about activating any other options or settings right here. Maybe click on the self-destruct button. It does not have a self-destruct button, by the way, but yes, that's what we got right here. It also has an round view monitor, or the 360-degree camera system, which is nice, and one of my favorite features, an onboard dash cam. So if you want to activate your onboard dash cam, it is right there. You can go ahead and not install your dash cam because it has one installed or built into the car, which is a nice addition in my opinion. You also have a huge 12.5-inch display cluster right here. It doesn't give you options to change how it looks, but you do have the option to change the theme from dark to bright and nothing. But at least you do have some options here to get all of your information from your drive meter. You even have how much energy you're using, how much range you have left. Pretty much straightforward as it is. I do wish that there were some options to customize this, as you may put some analog looking gauges right there. But the beauty about these cars though is that everything is possible through an over-the-air update. I wish that comes in the future. Another thing that the Jaecoo J7 has is a pretty large and sizable and very visible heads-up display right there in front. So it gives you all of your driving information. It's not a lot of information, but pretty much your speed, what gear you're at right there, and helps you with your drive, but keep your eye line on the road at all times, which is nice. Now, if you notice, the center console does not have any shifters. The shifter is column mounted right here. Pretty intuitive, but you do have to be a little more direct and in order to shift it. If you shift down, goes to D. Shift up goes to R. If you shift in a way that you're not sure it's going to go directly to N. I think that's just a safety feature that they've included so that you can make sure that you don't misshift your vehicle. I mean, it does get some, it does take some getting used to, especially with column mounted shifter right here. And if you want to go to park, just click on the button on its mount right there. It's no problems. And the left stock does double duty. So it has your windshield wiper, it has your rear wiper, and your light, your signal lights here. So you got it right there, and your high beam controls as well. Now, one thing about the center console here, it's got a 50-watt wireless charger with an air vent so that you can safely charge your vehicle wirelessly right there. It does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so why not give it a wireless charger, right? So there, we got that there. Now, the interior does have a lot more buttons than usually other minimal-looking cars would have. You got your mode selector dial right here, so change between different drive modes. You got your central locking, so it locks your vehicle from the inside. You got your hazard button, as well as an EV and HEV selector, which we'll be talking about later on. A split opening center console, and the seats are very comfortable. And you have this huge glass roof with your panoramic sunroof there as well, which you can easily operate right here. Now, underneath the center console, you do have a cubby right here to put all your stuff in. You got two USB ports, one USB-A, one USB-C, and a 12-volt socket underneath. I like how the look of the pedals are. They're aluminum, so it gives it a little bit more sporty vibe. Sitting right here in the second row seats of the Jaecoo J7, I'm surprised with the amount of room that I have here in the back. Now, remember about the raking design that they have on the outside. It actually doesn't affect the interior space like at all, despite the fact that you have a panoramic sunroof, which is usually a bad sign for headroom. Here it isn't the case. Actually, you have a lot of space for laterally, so technically I can fit 3 of myself right here in the back. There are 2 AC vents right here, 2 USB ports, 2 map pockets, as well as 2 sub pockets for your cell phone. And the seating material and the quality is pretty much the same as right here in the front passenger, which is nice. But let's go back to the driver, see how this feels out on the drive, and I'll be talking about the electric drive, the safety features, and most importantly, the fuel economy. So let us go. Underneath, you got a 1.5 liter turbocharged gasoline engine that acts as a range extender for the 18 kilowatt hour battery, the small electric motor right here. It makes a total of 275 horses and 365 newton meters of torque. It will get you where you need to be. Just point and shoot and you're there. It doesn't need a lot of drama, but anyway, it does have the capabilities to be a little bit agile. It's just that your connection with the road, with the wheels, it's not really there. You do have options to change the force of the steering from comfort to sport, and I already am at sport, but still quite light. Some people might like it, some people might hate it. Me, I understand why it needs it. Basically, that's what how I feel about the light steering wheel, especially in a crossover SUV. Suspension-wise, you've got a McPherson strut setup up front and a multi-link suspension in the back. What that helps out the car with is that it helps out even more so with the with a road feel. Basically, it's going to take road imperfections and bumps on the road like a champ, but not as much as a full-sized SUV would with a ladder on frame. It's still pretty comfortable on the inside, don't get me wrong. It's just that you do have to temper your expectations. What I do like about the Jaecoo J7 though is that the ride is a little firm. Not too firm to be almost sports car like or without any suspensions, but if you compare this to other cars in the same segment, it doesn't feel very wobbly on the inside, and that's important especially for long drives because you don't want to feel too queasy. That's the thing that causes car sickness though, is that while you're driving along, the suspension just wobbles around here and there. No, it drives confidently, quite firm, and yes, maybe a little sporty. Now, with driving the Jaecoo J7, you do have options because it is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or a range extended electric vehicle. You do have options to change the way you charge your car. Now, with how I see some range extended electric vehicles out there in the market these days. It seems like a lot of people are going crazy over using those free charging stations at malls and then just parking it right there. But one thing that you didn't know, though, you might not know, probably you might not know this, you can actually use your car to charge your vehicle. Now, you can actually, in the Jaecoo J7, there is a way for you to force charge the vehicle up to 80%. So as you drive along, and once you get to your destination, you'd notice that your battery is a lot higher than it is. And when you're parked, just set it to park, and then depress the accelerator pedal, and it's going to charge your car up to 6 to 7 kilowatts, which is pretty much like a wall charger. And once you get back and see what your charge is, you see that you get up to 80% already, which is nice and nifty. The power in the Jaecoo J7, we're just on comfort mode. It's pretty direct. Again, it's got 275 horsepower and 365 newton meters of torque, enabling you to get from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just right around 8 seconds, which is, again, not a lot if you compare it to sports cars and electric vehicles, but a whole lot if you compare it to all other family cars in the market today, which is pretty nice. But not to worry. I mean, some people would think that because you have all that power, your stopping power would be too grabby or too bitey, as is the usual norm with electric vehicles. Not here, though. It can be that way, but there is an option here on the screen for you to check out where you can actually activate comfort braking. So it reduces the level of pitch in your car in a way that just doesn't go ahead and basically won't crash the front suspension too much. So it's gonna, once you hit the brakes, it's gonna stay as level as possible. And then if you do deactivate it, it's going to increase stopping power, sure. But in the way, when you activate the comfort braking, it's going to reduce the stopping power to a point where it's just perfect. You can stop your car and still remain comfortable on the inside, which is a nice touch, a nice addition. Now when it comes to fuel economy, my personal fuel economy on this car is 21 kilometers per liter. That's right, I got 21 kilometers per liter in the Jaecoo J7. And you ask me, is it for city? Is it for highway? Both. So it's got city driving, 21 kilometers per liter, highway driving, 21, maybe a little bit of 22. That's the beauty about driving an electric vehicle. You see your range, that's the range that you'll be getting. If you temper the number of people on the inside, whatever drive that you have right in front of you, that's going to be what it is. I mean, it's not dictated by traffic. It's not dictated by how much you stop. In fact, going through stop and go traffic will be beneficial for the car. It actually charges the battery even more, so further extending your range. So the quoted range of 1,488 kilometers from Jaecoo, that definitely is attainable. If I probably drove this even more gingerly, I think I can even surpass the 1,488 kilometer rating that they said. But as it stands right now, if I drive this car around with a full charge and a full gas tank, I would probably, and with the way I drive in a monthly basis, I'd say that I'd be filling up this car every month and a half. I need a reminder just to tell me that I need to fill this up with gas. That's how fuel efficient this Jaecoo J7 is, and you would definitely enjoy that feeling as well. Safety features for the Jaecoo J7 include 7 airbags, ABS with electronic brake force distribution, traction control, stability control, the works. And it also has some additional advanced driver assist systems as well. You got lane keep assist, lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring system, rear cross traffic alert. You got adaptive cruise control, which is really intuitive. I tried it out and it actually feels like I'm shifting it myself. You got a 360-degree camera system. You've got the built-in dash cam in there as well. And again, all of what you're looking for as far as advanced driver assist system goes, you can find it in the Jaecoo J7. Usually cars in this price point would have this gone, another feature gone, but all that you're looking for is right here, just short of autonomous driving. But we'll soon get there, and I'm sure that once autonomous driving comes in, the Jaecoo J7 or whatever Jaecoo has in store for us will get that. All right, so pricing for the Jaecoo J7 starts at 1,449,000 pesos for the comfort variant, it's the entry-level variant, and 1,549,000 for the premium variant. That's the one we're testing right now. The difference between the two cars on the outside, not so much, but you would see it on the features. You won't get ADAS features on the comfort. You have a smaller screen as well, and you don't get heated side mirrors. Basically, all of the comfort features that we love in the Jaecoo J7 that we're reviewing right now, you won't find it. But with an extra 100,000 pesos, I'd say you're getting more than enough. So if you're in the market for the Jaecoo J7, get the top of the line variant. You're not going to regret it. You're not going to break the bank if you buy a Jaecoo J7 itself. That gives you more opportunities for savings, for enjoying your life with your family and your friends as well. And of course, if you're a gearhead, for modifications on the outside. We can't leave that out of the equation totally. But I want to know what you think. Drop me a comment in the comment section below and tell me what variant you would be willing to buy. You get the Jaecoo J7, or what other options you have available for you. And while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. This has been Roy Roberts from Zigwheels.Ph. I'll see you guys next time.